You've probably seen her in movies, maybe played by the stunning Elizabeth Taylor, and you picture this drop-dead gorgeous Egyptian queen. But what if I told you the real Cleopatra looked nothing like that? Let's ditch the Hollywood fantasy and uncover the truth about one of history's most powerful women. First things first, let's talk about her family tree. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian. Surprise! She was actually Greek, from the Ptolemaic dynasty, a family that descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals. They ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years, but they were Macedonian Greeks through and through. In fact, Cleopatra was one of the very few in her family who even bothered to learn the Egyptian language. This already shatters the popular image of a native Egyptian pharaoh. So, if she wasn't Egyptian, what did she look like? Well, we don't have a perfectly preserved portrait, but we have some pretty good clues. The most reliable evidence comes from coins minted during her reign. These were official portraits approved by her, designed to project a specific image to her people. And on these coins, Cleopatra doesn't look like a Hollywood bombshell. Instead, we see a woman with a prominent, slightly hooked nose, a strong chin, and a rather pronounced jawline. Her features are sharp and commanding, not soft and delicate. Some coins show her with a low forehead and thin lips. This wasn't the face of a supermodel, it was the face of a ruler. It was a face that conveyed intelligence, authority, and power. Remember, these coins were propaganda. She wanted to look like a strong, capable leader, not just a pretty face. Ancient writers like Plutarch, who wrote about her life, actually support this. He never describes her as a breathtaking beauty. Instead, he focuses on her charisma, her charm, and her intellect. Plutarch said her real power was in her conversation, her captivating voice, and her ability to make anyone feel like they were the most important person in the room. He wrote that her beauty was not in itself so remarkable that none could be compared with her, but her presence was irresistible. Think about that for a second. Her greatest weapon wasn't her looks, it was her mind. She was fluent in multiple languages, highly educated in mathematics, philosophy, and astronomy. She could hold her own in debates with the sharpest minds of her time. It was this intelligence and charm that captivated powerful men like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, not just her appearance. So where did the supermodel image come from? A lot of it is Roman propaganda. After she was defeated, Roman historians, like Cassius Dio, wanted to paint her as a wicked seductress who used her looks to corrupt their great leaders. It was easier to blame a beautiful, exotic temptress than to admit that two of Rome's most powerful men were outsmarted by a brilliant female politician. They reduced her legacy from a powerful queen to a simple femme fatale, and Hollywood ran with its story. From silent films to Elizabeth Taylor's iconic role, the myth of the devastatingly beautiful Cleopatra became cemented in our culture. It's a much more dramatic story, right? But it does a huge disservice to the real woman. The real Cleopatra was a political mastermind, a skilled diplomat, and a formidable leader who fought to protect her kingdom. Her appearance was likely more striking and powerful than conventionally beautiful. She was a Greek queen who embraced Egyptian culture, a scholar who commanded armies, and a woman whose intellect was her greatest asset. The truth is far more fascinating than the fiction. So, the next time you see a picture of Cleopatra, remember the coins and the words of those who actually knew of her. The real queen wasn't just a pretty face. She was a force of nature. Thanks for watching. What historical figure should we uncover next? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into history's biggest myths. See you next time.